Author's note. Azriel is home from college for Halloween weekend, and he, alongside Pizza Pants, decides to help hand out treats for all of the trick-or-treaters in hometown. This fic was made. Anyway. This fic was made out of a desire to do literally anything festive this Halloween, so I thought it would be fun to do a story set during Halloween, especially since it's related to a game that celebrates its birthday that day. And while I'm not brimming with confidence over my writing style, I can only hope that those reading will enjoy it as much as I did writing it. Only things worth noting are that A, this fic doesn't have a concrete placement in the game's timeline outside of Azriel was at college for a while, and B, Pizza Pants' full name in this fic is Bartholomew B. Riches, but prefers to go by Barry. Usually they drip feed that to you. Okay, did anything happen in the last fic, by the way? Nothing really happened much. There's lots of candy. But never an Umris reference. They fumbled that, actually. They had Birdly in the room, but no Umris reference occurred. Yep, nothing I can do with this one. Yep, Halloween is Deltarune's anniversary. Hence why Deltarune is inherently Halloweeny. Toby Fox is like a Halloween elemental, I think. If I had to assign Toby Fox like an element, it would be, or like a season, it would be Halloween, you know? He definitely thrives in that atmosphere. Okay. It's a name I used for him in my last two fics, but though I thought it wouldn't hurt to specify it here too for when it occasionally pops up in the fic proper to avoid confusion. With that being said, happy Halloween, happy 6th Deltarune anniversary. Hooray. Yeah, the Halloween hack, yeah. Wait, how do you know that Birdly was Von Karma, not Edgeworth? Does Edgeworth not have a brooch? This is turning into its own Phoenix Wright case. I don't want to think about it. Yeah, the actual release of Deltarune Chapter 2 is interesting. I heard about it from some old server that had been inactive forever since my, like, Undertale fan game days. And immediately I was notified. And just kind of had this, like, stupefied, surreal kind of mindset. Just staring at this thing and being like, oh god, that's something. That's gonna be something. I just had this numbness, not knowing what to make of it exactly. And I still didn't know what to make of Chapter 1 for, like, years after I played it, actually, until Chapter 2. Oh, clutching his bullet. Oh, yeah, the shoulder clutch. Okay, I forgot that part. I did play that game, but that was a while ago. Do you believe in Von Karma? That's a bit of a stretch. The Dreamer household was in prime autumn spirit. Decorative wax gourds lined the countertop. A wreath adorned with amber leaves and pine cones hung upon the front door, and an empty pie tin littered with stains and crumbs of what had been lovingly baked pumpkin pie sat on the stovetop. In the middle of the remarkably festive living room stood Toriel, donning a crooked pointed hat, mom witch, black waistcoat, and a satin dress in an attempt to put together the most elegant interpretation of a witch she possibly could. She stood in contrast to Chris, who was resignedly waiting for their mother to finish adjusting the felt ears and limp tail on the matching fleece black cat onesie she had them wear. You'd think Chris would be all for putting on cat ears. Kid's a furry for sure. And there you go. Oh, you look so precious in that costume, Chris.
Yeah, sure, can't wear something cooler.
Green Chris. Weird. Chris asked, brushing aside the odd strand of hair poking out from beneath the hood. Oh, do not worry about that, dear. Your mother thinks you are cool, and that is all that matters. that's damning. Holy shit! You could use that line in court, in divorce court. Like, okay, maybe Asgore needs some custody, a little bit of custody. Can't just be Toriel. Chris is more of a dog person. Ah, clearly. Well, Chris is more of a goat person, really, but... What was I gonna say? I thought of something. Oh yeah, in Hometown itself, the trees are all perpetually bright autumnal orange. It is a game that is set, like, it is in Halloween stasis. It is always autumn in Hometown, and it will be for years and years as the game continues to be released. It's kind of its own Halloween hack, I think. That's kind of just how it works. They're ever orange. Goats don't have red horns? He's like a, you know, it's like a dragon goat monster. It's like that. One of those. As the two finished preparing for trick-or-treating, a series of thumps reverberated from upstairs. It was Asriel, gingerly descending the stairs while his hands kept a firm and cautious grip on a hand-woven wicker tray lined end-to-end with sweets. All right, I finished sorting everything, Mom. Gray Asriel, crazy. I guess it matches shirt and or hair color. Each individual crunch of the wicker from between his palms became louder and louder as he attempted to keep the tray as still as possible. Oh, thank you so much, Asriel. Toriel responded joyfully, glancing at the prudently organized assortment of chocolate bars. You organizing that shit on a wicker? Go put it in a bowl. Dump it into a bowl, dude. What are you fussing around for? You gotta get the vat. Candy rope and lollipops in varying shapes and sizes. As she helped Asriel set the treats upon a small wooden stool beside her front door, she turned to him with a smile on her face and a light in her eyes. You would not believe how proud I am of you for helping hand out the candy this year. Goodness, you have only been back for one day, and yet here you are, about to be the man of the house, while I look after a certain someone. Her beaming grin suddenly turned into a mildly irked glare she sent Chris's way.
Come on, Mom. It was only one time. I won't do it again, I promise.
Chris exclaimed while feverishly scratching the itches from their costume. Then it is a good thing that I will be there to make sure of that, right, my child? Did Chris set fire to the holiday mansion as a joke? Like, what happened? You'll be the man of the house, unlike someone! Yeah, definitely implied. Music's gone again. Shit. Music's gone. Music's gone. What if you just listen to Rachmaninoff? That'll work, right? It'll probably get a copyright claim, but it doesn't matter. You'd think you'd be safe from copyright listening to classical music, but there's different copyright on the performance than of the composition. So whoever played this and owns the rights to the orchestral performance can actually then copyright claim the stream instead. So it doesn't work. This is classical. I mean romantic, but you know, it's classical. It's going to take an hour for it to actually sound like anything because it's not compressed. You'll notice that about classical music, if you listen to it, it's that they don't compress it. The quiet parts are like barely audible, and then it gets loud for 5 seconds, and the rest of the song is barely audible again. Well, this isn't working. The song is playing, but you just can't hear shit. Awesome song, yeah. Okay, not that one. I think some like I could do Toccata and Fugue in D minor, the Halloween one, but that would be kind of distracting. It goes pretty hard. Does anyone have a suggestion? I don't know. Schoenberg. No thanks. Off OST? Oh yeah, that could work. That was part of the OST. The off OST is kind of scary. Okay, skip. There we go. This will do. Who did the off OST? Was that Mortis Ghost? Or is there a second musician? Elias Conrad Coldwood. Ah. It just comes from YouTube. It's YouTube music. But not YouTube music. Did you hear about the Nintendo has its own music service now? For some inexplicable reason known only to Miyamoto himself, they have, instead of putting Nintendo soundtracks on an existing third-party streaming service like Spotify to monetize them, they made their own Spotify that you subscribe to the Nintendo Switch to listen to the like Mario soundtrack. Great idea, Nintendo. Great idea. The only possible way I see this being relevant to my life is if they, if this makes them crack down harder on YouTube uploads of music, which is always what Nintendo already does anyway. But luckily for me, I avoid using Nintendo music in my videos for that reason. Very cool. Okay, more cheat. Chris quietly groaned before looking off to the side of the room, their brow deeply furrowed. Toria let out a soft chuckle until her head suddenly lifted, as if she just remembered something important. "Oh, that's right," she exclaimed. "Where's that special little man of yours, Asriel?" Special little man. Devastating. "Oh, I'm pretty sure he's... Asriel was suddenly distracted by what sounded like a faint, anxious whisper coming from upstairs. He silently turned toward the dimly lit stairwell, his mother and sibling following suit. "You're fine, you've got this, you're fine, you got this, fuck, shit, I don't got this. Oh, hi, Miss Dreamer. How's great weather, huh?" Pizza Pants emerged, sweat dripping down his brow, with his hands firmly planted in the sweatpants pockets, so that no one could tell how much they were shaking. Asriel couldn't help but crack a quiet snicker after seeing this normally smug and cocky partner act so frightened just by talking to his mom. It's the let that sink in genetic memories. What was I... No, I wanted the bingo card. There it is. Bodily fluids. And their established relationship is gay. It is in fact gay for men to date men. Okay, we have a candy. That's good. It is Halloween. That's a good start. Strong start. Okay, we're pretty vanilla outside of that. Oh, and an outfit description. Of course. And colored text. Of course. And Chris was there? Holy shit! This fic is optimized. It's a top fuel dragster. Okay, don't go on a rant about top fuel dragsters. I gotta keep reading the fic. Without a second thought, he threw his arm around Pizza Pants' shoulder, playfully dragging him to his side. Found him. Dude, the gray is like changing my ability to do the voice. I swear, it's actually throwing me off. Pizza Pants was instantly thrown out of his bout of spluttering as Asriel reeled him in, nudging him in return. On me? What am I demoted to easy to lose trinket? Asriel simply shrugged with his free arm and patted Pizza Pants' shoulder with the other, his grin still cracked. No, that would make you homework from the Binding of Isaac. I've forgotten the voice. It depends on the day. The hell does that even... Thank you again for offering your help, Mr. Riches. Now you two make absolutely sure that that each child only takes one piece, all right? Toriel asked with an air of mild concern. Loud and clear, Mum. Pizza Pants considered giving a thumbs up, pulling his hand out of his pockets, before immediately slipping it back in, realizing how dumb he would have looked giving one while he was sweating bullets and his eyes still widened from unease. Yeah, Mrs. Dreamer. I mean, Miss Dreamer, huh? Wonderful. You should be home around 8:30 or so. Oh, and do not think I forgot about this. Toriel reached over and grabbed a small wooden sign sitting on the beloved living room chair. A group of crude cartoon bats and jack-o'-lanterns surrounded the phrase, trick or treat, in tackily festive font. How thoughtful it was of you to buy this adorable little sign for tonight. I will make sure to hang it outside the front door for all the trick-or-treaters to see. I mean, I just saw it in the store one day, and I thought it looked nice on the door. All right, have a nice evening, you two. Come along, Chris. I forgot how much of this soundtrack was like whispering and piss sounds. Nice. It's not, it's just liquid plastic, don't worry about it. It's not even water. See you, Mom. Asriel used his free arm to wave goodbye, his other arm still wrapped around Pizza Pants' torso. Pizza Pants himself delivered a meek wave while sporting what could subjectively be described as a facial expression. The moment Toriel shut the door behind them, Asriel suddenly burst out laughing, hunched over as he planted his hands on his knees in an attempt to support himself. Man, you've really got to calm yourself down around my parents. I was scared you were going to pass out there. Pizza Pants clumsily stumbled backward as Asriel let go of him, blushing intensely as his embarrassment from earlier continued to linger. Sorry, dude, I'm just really down bad for your mom. I mean, look, it's just that I'm scared of the way they don't approve of us being a thing, okay? Pizza Pants belted out, the distress in his voice all the more obvious. I can't blame a guy for just being cautious, you know? Asriel chuckled in response as he plopped himself onto the sofa, leaning his head back onto the cushions. Oh, come on, my mom baked a whole ass pie for you just last week. Let me tell you, she wouldn't do that for just anyone. Well, yeah, but like... Also, my dad gave you some of his pickles as a birthday gift, and he doesn't exactly have a lot. Ah, that's sad. You wouldn't eat Asgore's last pickle, would you? Asriel's words left Pizza Pants in a moment of thought. He was never used to having so many people act so welcoming and comforting toward him, or at least without some kind of catch. Look, just relax, all right? It's only us here, at least until the trick-or-treaters come, but like, you know what I mean? Pizza Pants closed his eyes and let out a relaxed sigh before walking over to the sofa and carefully crashing into it. He stared off into space with his limbs splayed out all over the cotton cushions, his head landing awkwardly on Asriel's chest. Thank God! Asriel mustered up a surprised snicker. You good? Xylophone noises. No, not homophobic Toriel. This is Pizza Pants for some reason watched the homophobic Toriel YouTube video and thought it was really convincing, despite there being no evidence that points toward it. And he's now just confronting reality. I'm running on fumes at this point. You know how it is. Pizza Pants murmured between series of yawns. I mean, I know we gotta spend the night handing out candy to a bunch of kids, but just let me have this. Asriel looked down at Pizza Pants before flashing a grin at him. Hey, you're the one who used up all of the PTO just to help me give out candy. His PTO? What's a PTO?
It's not my fault they give me an hour per year.
Oh, paid time off. Paid time off, I get it. Well then, just know you're in... Well then, just know you're in this for the long haul, sweetie. Oh, we got like FNAF timestamps. Where did we start? 6 p.m. They have to last until 8:30.
You won't last 2 hours in the Azzy Pants household.
Watching a theory video on your IRL neighbor. Probably happens in Beverly Hills, I don't know. Do this every day. I live across the house straight from that one guy from Hello Neighbor. I think Matt Pat will enjoy analysing this frame by frame.
The real reason the guy downstairs pisses in the middle of the night and why it matters.
Too true. That guy is me, by the way. Why wouldn't you piss in the middle of the night? Matt Pat roasted the Hello Neighbor creator? Did he? I don't actually watch Matt Pat. I don't know. I know the tweets are a meme, of course.
I think Matt Pat will be very interested in this.
What a fucking stupid game, by the way. Hello Neighbor. I remember Joseph Anderson, for some fucking reason, played it. That was him, right? Joseph Anderson? I think that was him. It's such dog shit. I've seldom seen a game as just aggressively stupid as Hello Neighbor. Like, holy shit, it was bad. It was like an asset flip made by a toddler who just didn't understand how, like, logic worked. It was like an alien mind made... I don't know, it was fucked up. Can't express my disgust with that game. Alright. Despite the two having lied on the sofa, anticipating a deluge of trick-or-treaters, not a single knock had sounded since they sat down. I'm calling it. Outside is a dark world. The roaring happened. Everyone else is dead. Pizza Pants, still collapsed from pure emotional exhaustion, slowly tilted his head up to look at Azrael.
You think we started too early?
Maybe. Most of them haven't started walking around town yet.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe we're just jumping the gun on this.
Pizza Pants simply went back to looking out the window, blankly gazing at the trees that surrounded the house, the scent of cinnamon and clove from the countertop candles filling his nostrils. Toriel would be a scented candles person, wouldn't she? God damn it.
Actually, wait. Why does little buddy need supervision to go trick-or-treating? Like, what, 16? I mean, I haven't trick-or-treated since I was 12. And I was still allowed to just go with my buds at that point.
Oh, yeah. Azrael said he looked over the tray of candy next to the front door. Last Halloween, they apparently came home with chocolate smeared all over their face. Mom told me that their bucket had nothing in it but massive piles of empty wrappers. Oh. Like they didn't even set fire to the town hall? That would have been more impressive. Pizza Pants quickly propped himself up in response.
Really? They ate all of their candy before they even got home. What the hell?
Yeah, they got sick and had to stay home from school the next day. Mom was beside herself. That was a rough phone call.
Jeez, man. Oh. I feel bad and all, but like, how many people would even be able to do that without getting sick halfway through?
Azrael let out an exasperated groan, as if the thought alone of doing such a thing made his stomach churn. Yeah, whenever I did trick-or-treating back at my dorm, my stash would last for months.
Wait, trick-or-treating through the dorms? Wouldn't the halls get crowded with people or something?
Pizza Pants asked quizzically. Pizza Pants asked as he quizzically tilted his head.
I remember when the hometown was bustling with kids all dressed up. I can't imagine some massive dorm packed high to hell. Packed to high hell with students trick-or-treating in narrow-ass hallways.
Is that a thing people ever do? I've never lived in a university dorm. I don't know. Maybe some people do it. Everyone's having parties on Halloween in the dorm, I assume, but... It may be some warped, fucked up version of trick-or-treating. Chris would go crazy on mischief night. That's not a thing here that I've heard of. That's like we don't have that. You had a pumpkin carving though. Nice. Chris got the Iron Stomach perk from Noita. Azrael folded his arms behind his head as he began to stare blankly at the ceiling. He immediately relaxed as the memories of celebrating such a lively holiday in such a tense setting washed over him. Not really. It was honestly really nice. Not too many people around, but just enough to make the party feel alive, you know? I mean, the place. Meat noises. Okay, the off soundtrack maybe wasn't the best call. Here we go.
Yeah, I get you. Though let me tell you, tween me could rock a mean scarecrow costume. All it took was some torn-up denim, some flannel, funny-looking hat, some pieces of straw in my fur.
Azrael began to crack a smirk as he began mockingly patting Pizza Pants on the head. Yep, it helps to have the brains of a scarecrow, too. Pizza Pants immediately lobbed a matching smirk back at him and went back to lazing on the couch.
Ass hat.
Yeah, the off soundtrack is not really conforming to the vibe of the fic. I didn't know the last two fics were going to be like incredibly slow burn slice of life things. At this point, both of them knew that Pizza Pants could hurl any insult Azrael's way, but nothing could stop Azrael's affectionate teasing. Alright then, so here's the question from Mr. Asshat Dreamer. What made you stop trick-or-treating anyway? Felt like too much of a big boy, huh? Big boy, too big for costumes and candy?
Yeah, you're looking at the most mature guy in hometown. After all, working in food service as long as I have would certainly put some hair on your chest.
Yeah, he actually stopped trick-or-treating because he had to work shifts back then, Azrael. Mind yourself. Fucking bougie piece of shit. But yeah, so what have you had to deal with lately? Pizza Pants scratched his chin as he racked his brain for any noteworthy stories.
Let's see. We had this one guy who tried to set one of the restrooms on fire.
Oh, that was Chris. An arson attempt at Ices.
Yeah. Anyway, there was this one person who punched a credit card reader till it broke again. And an unidentified person who occasionally comes in and smears marinara sauce on the walls. Blue Ace calls him the Sauce Spectre, by the way. Then there was,
Azrael stared at Pizza Pants with his jaw agape as Pizza Pants continued to count on his fingers the amount of bizarre scenarios he'd witnessed with enthusiasm of someone reading out a shopping list.
And also the time someone nearly killed a guy.
How long have they been dating? There is no way that Pizza Pants has not talked about this. This is like 60% of his life is spent dealing with this. What else does he have to talk about? Being real. It's definitely come up before. Azrael realizes that all of these people are Chris, yeah. The meat noises are for later. Sure, Pidge. Oh, I just remembered. Azrael yelled in a desperate attempt to shift the conversation before his stories could somehow get any worse. The costume I wore last Halloween, I think I still have it buried in my closet.
Huh? You just not want to wear it this year?
Well, maybe it'd be fun to do a whole handout thing while in costume. Azrael's smile shifted into a coy grin. Plus I get to show you my flawless sense of style. Are you okay with me watching the front door while I grab it real quick? Are you okay with watching the front door? Pizza Pants shook his head in response before shuffling over to the other side of the couch.
Not like there's much else to do right now.
Attaboy. Azrael rushed over to the stairwell before looking back over his shoulder, back over to his partner, lackadaisically tapping away at his phone. I won't be long, Asriel exclaimed, following by a silent thumbs up from Pizza Pants. Only 4 minutes had gone by before Pizza Pants heard several footsteps rapidly descending the stairwell. Pizza Pants' cheeks instantly ballooned from his vain attempt to conceal his laughter as he gazed upon Asriel's old costume. The top half was Super Mario from the waist up, with a wrinkled polyester shirt and overalls, a felt cap, and a flimsy felt mustache that looked like it could fall off Asriel's muzzle at any second. The bottom half was a Yoshi. Dude, they combined. They did a fusion dance from the last fic here. What do you mean copyright? What about copyright? I keep choking on the pumpkin seeds. But I keep eating them. Oh, it's because Yoshi was referenced by name. I got a plot cough. Kratos, save me. The bottom half was Yoshi, with Asriel's legs taking up the feet and the rest being composed of a poorly filled inflatables. Yoshi's face was filled with just enough air to stand upright, but not enough to prevent it from looking any less pathetic. "What did I tell you? Flawless sense of style," Asriel exclaimed, the impishness present in his voice loud and clear. Pizza Pants, trying to choke down the laughter, could barely speak. Anything that could come out of his mouth would just take the form of barely audible squeaks, 2 octaves higher than his normal voice at that. "Yeah, looks good." Yeah. Asriel, seeing the crumbling mess of a person in front of him, walks back over to the sofa and takes a seat. "You don't have to hold it in, dummy. We both know it sucks." "Okay, thank fuck," was all Pizza Pants could utter before entering a fit of wheezing that rendered him utterly incapacitated. Asriel let out a small chuckle as he reached over and wrapped his arm around his partner's shoulder. "You know, the least you could do is pull yourself together before any trick-or-treaters come by." "All right, I hear you." Asriel and Pizza Pants alone on the couch, audibly screeching and yowling from outside as the children approach. You used a glue stick to attach a mushroom to your... not a mushroom, a mustache to your face. Yikes. 7 p.m. An hour and a half remains. Another stretch of time had gone by, but yet again not a single knock had graced the door. Asriel's smile started to waver slightly as he began to tap his finger against the armrest from a growing sense of impatience. This was night and day compared to Pizza Pants, still slouching on Asriel's torso, flashing him a tired grin. "Lovely date so far, huh?" Pizza Pants' words instantly snapped him out of it, breaking through the deep expanse of silence that they followed. He looked back at Pizza Pants, his smile returning to him. "What, coming over to my house and sitting on my sofa for the better part of an hour? Sounds like you've really low standards for dates." "You think this guy's been in a relationship before?" Pizza Pants shrugged, his hands now in his pockets. "Hey now, we've been on dates that I've organized, 'cause you've seen worse. Also, could you grab me a soda from the fridge real quick?" "You gonna get a hold up?" "What?" "You gonna get off of me first?" Pizza Pants then slithered his way to the other side of the couch, groaning in frustration for having to commit to the back-breaking task that was moving a couple of feet. Arby's date incoming. There you go. Was that so hard?" Creaking from the sofa, coupled with the ruffling from Asriel's costume, filled the dead air as he got up. As he reached the fridge, Asriel managed to pull out a single can of store-brand soda that he had that had sat at the back, obstructed by all edges, condiments, and the odd cup of yogurt. He looked back at Pizza Pants, who was sapped of energy to a point where he seemed just as lifeless as the furniture he was lounging on. Asriel simply smiled, shook his head, and plopped the can into his completely limp hand. "Anything else, Your Majesty?" Pizza Pants didn't even bother looking his way, cracking open the can and giving a quick sip of second-rate off-brand soda. "Nah, my royal servant deserves a rest." Asriel gave a mocking bow in return before sitting back down next to him.
I'm starting to get like let that sink in vibes, because the whole chapter is Asriel and Pizza Pants sitting on the couch.
Right away, Lord Pizza Pants. Pizza Pants spluttered as the ensuing snicker nearly caused him to choke on a soda.
What, is that my official title now?
We could always go with Lord Berry or Lord Bartholomew B. Riches, the third Esquire.
I didn't think I'd hear something worse than Lord Pizza Pants, but alright.
They both shared a soft laugh until Asriel looked back at the front door, his mind taking him back to the issue at hand. Not a single person had come yet. His smile began to falter again, a combination of disappointment and the confusion starting to set in. Until...
No, I used to love doing this when I was a kid.
Huh? Asriel quickly turned back to Pizza Pants, who was staring out the window once again.
You know...
No.
You wanted to know why I stopped trick-or-treating so early, didn't you? Well, that's the reason. For a good few years, I volunteered to be the guy that handed out treats. Felt like I was the man of the house every time.
Pizza Pants gave an uncharacteristically delicate smile, still gazing at what lied beyond the window. As Asriel turned to take a look for himself, he felt hypnotized by the violets and indigos from the twilight sky, and the trees that sat underneath it, the scene outside firmly jutting out amongst the warm oranges and yellows that enveloped the room.
Kept it up for 4 years straight. Sometimes I actually did it in costume. It was great.
What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I'm starting to get why you wanted to help me do this, so what happened?
Work happened. Every Halloween since.
Pizza Pants let out a firm sigh before lifting his head back up.
God forbid I go a year without having to make Icy's disgusting Halloween's pizzas.
Icy's what now?
You know, the little pumpkin-shaped candy coins. It's literally just those baked onto a cheese pizza. Like Homestuck.
Icy? I think this was Mel's favorite song from Off. I think I've seen some of those. They haven't kissed yet. No Gaster at all so far. So sad. I think I actually made calling it a song would be disingenuous. I made a experiment in FL Studio that sounded kind of like this. And all it was is you take I think I took a trombone sample, and I just had a sliding filter over it. That went from high frequencies to low frequencies, and just by moving the filter around it kind of creates this sound. It sounds very similar actually. Asriel winced in discomfort, clutching his stomach slowly at the description of the recipe. Oh my god, that sounds foul.
Yeah, last year old Bluey got curious and tried a slice. Poor guy could only take a single bite before he doubled over in pain. I heard the hospital bills were, anyway, the point is, the past few years kind of put a damper on things. Still though, this we've got Halloween to ourselves.
Asriel's gentle smile returned to him, as hearing Pizza Pants' stories about the holiday helped take his mind off things, even if it was only for a moment. You said you were a scarecrow, right? Did you try to stand completely still, and then scare the kids shitless when they tried to take the candy?
Oh, come on. I know I'm not the nicest guy around, but I ain't that heartless.
Asriel slung his arm around one of Pizza Pants' shoulders once more, his head now resting against the other, his tone now donning an aggravating amount of smarminess. Oh, I didn't know you were an even bigger softie than me. I guess even a bold, brave guy like you can still bring yourself to... A sharp ripping sound suddenly filled the room as Asriel thrashed back in pain, his muzzle feeling as if it was jabbed by a dozen needles. Oh, he rubbed his mouth in discomfort. He looked over at Pizza Pants, suddenly boasting an ear-to-ear grin. He was now holding the felt mustache from Asriel's costume, with bits of white fur stuck to the adhesive. Yikers.
Sorry, can you say that again? You were starting to sound kind of muffled with this thing over your mouth.
Asriel rubbed his muzzle, his quiet groaning peppered with the occasional laugh. Dick move, dummy. Pizza Pants thoughtlessly tossed the mustache onto Asriel's lap.
Well, you were just sitting there teasing me about how I've gone soft, and, one thing led to another.
Almost as if nothing had happened, Asriel immediately went back to occupying Pizza Pants' shoulder, a hand on one his head resting on the other. Oh. Love you, tough guy.
Love you too, softy.
The two didn't have much to do other than sitting around, waiting for the event that anyone came knocking. Asriel stole the occasional glance at the door, the unease from the idea that no one was coming, growing with each gaze. Okay, there better be a murder or something. Something crazy's gotta happen. They're couch maxing for 2 chapters now. I want action. I need drama. I'm sorry. I need blood. It's Halloween. I need to kill. I need to kill. Yeah. Night in the Woods was last Halloween. Complete silence. Not a single knock. Asriel sat with his head buried in his hands, each breath he took coming out slower than the last. He spoke with a dispirited scratch in his voice. I'm sorry, man. Despite the tension in the air, Pizza Pants was merely on his phone, blankly flipping between the weather, his emails, and a list of the next couple weeks' worth of shift.
Huh? Sorry for what?
He asked puzzledly, still looking at the screen. I wanted to have some fun together on Halloween, and it's been a massive pile of nothing. And it's all my fault. Is handing out candy to kids really that much more fun than sitting on the couch? Like, I assume they'd be... I don't know, if it's a slow night you put on a movie, you do something. They're really committed to sitting on the couch. You don't have to do that. Just saying. Pizza Pants couldn't help but notice how shaken Asriel's voice sounded. He turned to him, gently placing a hand on his shoulder in hopes of comforting him.
Come on, it's not your fault. We both know that. Maybe there's just, an infinite void of blackness outside that consumes the trick-or-treaters before they can get to the house. Maybe there's been a lot of people going trick-or-treating in hometown this year. This ain't something you could blame yourself on.
Barry, you used up all your PTO for this. Offered us the chance at celebrating Halloween again, just for it to end up so disappointing. I'm only here for a 3-day break. And here I am, still finding ways to throw people's expectations down the drain. You could play beer pong, I don't know, play Uno. Yeah, anyway. Azirul raised his head, his eyes somewhat pinkish and glossy. I mean, fuck me for thinking this would be a nice way to just celebrate a fun little holiday with someone I love, right? He's freaking out. SmashMania, make them play beer pong. The most entertaining game in the world. Just getting away from all the shit I have to put up with at college, all these projects, all these deadlines and essays debugging my shitty coding, everything going wrong, and now I'm home, and everyone in the whole damn neighborhood has their eyes on me because of course I have to be some kind of town darling. Everyone's got a dote over, and I fuck up the one time I get to ignore that, and I just can't. I've never seen a guy so stressed out about people not trick-or-treating. Usually it's like, hey, sick, I get a bit of a lull between having to answer the door. It's like he's very high-strung.
Asriel, please, look at me.
Asriel solemnly turned his head to Pizza Pants, feeling both of his hands rest on his shoulders.
I don't care if things didn't go the way they should have. I'm just glad I get to be here tonight, with you. You got a short break from college, I got a shift off from work, the future screaming from my manager aside. Who cares if it's a bunch of kids out lining up at the door for some chocolate or whatever?
Pizza Pants gave Asriel's shoulder a quick, affectionate pat and flashed the grin.
We only have a couple of days before it's back to business as usual for the both of us. Just know that I'll always be here to hear you out either way, right?
Asriel looked down, his hands shaking as he desperately tried to process the words of encouragement. I can't. Just as he was about to muster up a response, he felt a hand on his cheek.
You did good tonight, Golden Boy. Don't forget that.
Gaster's the trick-or-treater. He's been knocking the whole night, but they can't hear him? Because he was like non-canon or some shit. That's so sad. And now he's just looking through the windshield, kind of like getting really invested in the romance instead of trying to knock on the door.
I hope they turn out okay with each other.
Banger time? Oh yeah. Gaster just wants one lint truffle. This was all it took for Asriel to realize that words weren't needed. Instead, he put a hand onto Pizza Pants' cheek in return. A tiny chuckle escaped from his mouth as their faces grew closer, and closed his eyes and relaxed himself when their lips met. They kissed. It was by no means the longest kiss ever, but they made sure to make it last long enough for it to feel special. It was as they parted that both of them flopped back onto the couch.
Fuck, I'm tired.
This is the kissing music. I play this song when I kiss my boyfriend. Oh. Pizza Pants reached into his pocket in hopes to grab a smoke. Smoking! We know that the gay can't be repressed though. This column is dead. We need an OC. Repressed gay kills the column. At the last second, Pizza Pants is gonna go,
Wait a minute, Asriel. This is kind of gay. Well, it's not. This isn't gay, right? What we've been doing, and we're gonna get the bingo at the last second. Pizza Pants reached into his pocket to grab a smoke, only to groan in frustration as his left hand was only met with the fabric of an empty pocket. Just then, he heard a distinct rustling coming from the other side of the sofa. Hey. Pizza Pants sluggishly moved his head to look at Asriel, who had picked out a lollipop from the basket of candy and was now holding it out to him. There was a special light in Asriel's eyes as Pizza Pants yanked. They haven't been eating the candy? They haven't been eating the candy? Bro, why would they not eat the candy? I can't believe it. There's a special light in Asriel's eyes as Pizza Pants yanked the wrapper off, placed the lollipop in his mouth, and started leisurely fiddling with the stick between his lips. He's like gaily eating the candy. Where would I be without you, dummy? A happy place, Golden Boy. A much happier place.
Pizza Pants responded, his trademark grotesque smirk once again sitting on his face. Enough of that already. Asriel suddenly grabbed Pizza Pants by the shoulders, dragging him up to his chest and perching his chin atop his head. Much to Pizza Pants' surprise and slight chagrin.
Oh come on, you're just gonna use me as a chin rest now?
You're just upset. They don't know what adults do on Halloween. They want to play the part. They don't realize they think they don't just eat candy and watch movies. Yeah, exactly. They're figuring it out. You're just upset about what happened when you tried to do this to me. Asriel brought his hand down to the underside of Pizza Pants' chin, tapping a couple of band-aids on each side. Wait, what? Oh, the horns. Oh, the horns, right. Both having long since been stained by tiny globules of pizza sauce and stray drops of soda drink.
Well, it ain't my fault those horns of yours are so damn sharp.
Pizza Pants let out a prolonged yawn and settled against Asriel's chest, his eyelids slowly dropping. Oh, look how tired you are. Mind if I join you in a little nap?
No, Asriel.
Walter White frantically bangs on the door.
No, Asriel. If you go to sleep, you will miss the trick or treators. Asriel, no!
I don't see why not. Knock yourself out.
Asriel brought his arms around Pizza Pants' torso and gently held him in place by the chest. Sweet dreams, tough guy.
Night ass hat.
The two of them gradually began to drift off, letting their worries melt away as they both lay on the sofa, growing lost in the warmth of each other's company. It wouldn't be long before the room was enveloped in silence once again. Cutting through the stillness of the living room was a sudden, panicking jostling of the front door's knob. In any scenario, it wouldn't be too noticeable, but with how quiet the room had been, it was enough to wake Asriel up, confusedly bobbing his head from the side to side as he rubbed his eyes. Huh? What? The door immediately swung open, resulting in a thunderous crash as it slammed against the wall. It was Toriel, whose face held a look of dread, momentarily wincing at the damage that the door spring might have caused before shifting back into the aforementioned dread. Oh my goodness, Asriel. I am so sorry. Mom, what happened? What's going on? Chris was standing at Toriel's side, covering their mouth in a poor attempt to hide the snickering. Chris, why are you... Seriously, what's happening?
Azzy, you good?
The level of anxious confusion in the room was loud enough to finally wake Pizza Pants, just as groggy as Asriel had been until he tensed up and widened his eyes at the distressed Toriel, immediately scrambling to his feet.
Miss Dreamer,
It's all my fault. You two must have felt so awful. Mom, it's okay. Just tell us what happened. Toriel bashfully held up a small wooden sign Asriel brought for tonight. I had no idea this adorable little sign was double-sided. I did not know it said something different on each side, so I did not pay much attention when I hung it on the door. It's the dark, evil Halloween sign that says no trick-or-treating. Wait, something about the signs being double-sided. Fuck. The slow twist from Toriel's wrist revealed the back side of the sign, which said private property, trespassers will be shot, danger of dog. With like the libertarian snake flag also on it. One of the back side of the sign that is faced outward for the trick-or-treaters to see. It features the exact same crude set of cartoon bats, jack-o'-lanterns, and candy corn, but it held one major distinction. The spot where trick-or-treat would be now said, sorry, out of treats. I feel so ashamed for making such a crude mistake. Please forgive me, you two. It says no human food. Asriel and Pizza Pants sat there with their mouths hanging open. Oh no, we'll have to eat all the candy by ourselves now. It's a tragedy. I'm going to kill myself. Neither of them knowing how to respond to this information. The idea that everything they had gone through tonight, all of the nothing, the sitting on the couch, the thinking, the sleeping, the occasionally moving their muscles, was all born from what was born was fuck. Okay, confusion is my epitaph. I hope Gaster shows up. What I meant to say was, what they'd gone through tonight was all born from what was by all means a complete fluke. Well, it's no big deal. We were just, kind of wondering why no one ever came. Chris, despite their bucket being filled to the brim with candy, started studying the mostly full tray of sweets next to the door, earning another lire from Toriel. Do not think I cannot see you eyeing down the candy, Chris. We will sift through your candy and separate it into portions in your room. Is that clear?
Yeah, Mom, yeah, whatever.
Chris said, an exasperated huff following soon after. Thank you. She turned back to face Asriel and Pizza Pants, smiling reservedly. Little does Toriel know, Chris has actually been transferring the candy little by little into a slush fund in their jacket all night long, and filling up the empty space in the bucket with wrappers, so that it looks like the volume's staying the same. So that, like, they have a reserve of, like, non-taxable candy in store, along with, like, the visible bank account. Bucket. As for you two, I cannot thank you enough for having the patience to deal with my mistake.
It was nothing, Miss Dreamer, honest.
Yeah, no need to worry about us. Can't say we never got bored, but, you know, we still got by. Asriel explained as he playfully gestured toward Pizza Pants. Toriel lit a gleeful giggle at the sound of their modesty. Well, I assumed you would just fuck like rabbits if nothing else came to the door, but, oh well. Look at my two fine young gentlemen. Now, if you will excuse us. Toriel grabbed Chris's hand and started leading them upstairs, waving goodbye to the two of them on the way up. Asriel stood up from the sofa and went over to Pizza Pants, giving them a loving pat on the back. Happy Halloween, dummy. Toriel's fun tax. The music sounds sinister, yeah. Pizza Pants simpered at Asriel, fiddling with the lollipop stick between his lips.
Right back at you. Oh, by the way.
He turned to face Asriel, taking the hand that was on his back in both of his. Suddenly, all the confidence and snark in his voice was gone, an air of concern now in its place.
Just don't forget what I said earlier, all right?
Asriel was caught off guard by his sudden change in demeanor. Tender and emotionally intelligent Pizza Pants drives you back from the airport. Asriel was caught off guard, but his shocked gaze turned back to a soft smile. Almost got to be the charmer, huh? Yeah, don't worry. I'll try to be more open to you about when I'm mad. I can't guarantee it, but I'll do my best. Sorry for, releasing all that on you earlier.
Nah, you're good. I don't have a problem with being a shoulder to cry on. That and, I'd never live with myself if I made fun of someone for having a moment like that. Least of all if they were doing so while wearing a costume as goofy as yours.
Yeah, how did he sit on the couch with the Yoshi? I wonder. Well, that's good news, at least. Pizza Pants walked over to the door and slowly opened it, staring at the now empty streets of Hometown, the night sky above them, before turning to look back at Asriel.
How about a movie at my place tomorrow? 10 o'clock sound good?
What about tonight night? You're both adults. It's 8:30 tonight night. Go watch fucking slasher movies. It'll be great. What do you have in mind? Pizza Pants half-heartedly shrugged and walked to the door, hands in his back pockets.
No idea. You in?
Do you really have to ask? We got new Meat Noises soundtrack. Hang on, I'm feeling low on Halloween spirit. Okay, Halloween. And the crow stays on. I forgot about that. Yeah, crows are scary or something. A wave of the hand from each of them later, and Pizza Pants closed the door, now strolling the quiet roads with nothing but the serene night breeze against his face and the light of the occasional street lamp illuminating the pavement. He took a deep breath as he strolled down the sidewalk, still trying to process just how much Asriel had bottled up, and how well he managed to hide it until then. Then his mind turned back to the lollipop in his mouth, the way Asriel lovingly gave it to Pizza Pants after making the effort to show his dedication toward him. At that moment, it no longer mattered if it was just a single piece of candy he received on a boring Halloween night. In that very instant, it was a reminder of what their relationship meant to them. As Pizza Pants walked through the outskirts of Hometown, only one thought could cross his mind.
See you tomorrow, asshat.
Happy Azzy Pants Halloween. That was the end. I can't believe there was no reference to indirect kissing. It's a trope, but